There is one thing collectively feared by all, a shared human experience. It creeps in when a joke falls flat, when you trip and fall in front of other human beings. It is seen in the collective, full body reactions. Picture a scene of someone up on stage cracking joke after joke with no laughter from the audience. Picture the actual pain you experience while watching, the swooping in your stomach, the frown, even sometimes closing of the eyes. This wonderful feeling is something I like to call a good dose of cringe. Today, I want to talk to you about what cringe is and the different components of it, how it affects our day-to-day actions, and finally, why is it important to push past this emotional initial moment of cringe. Cringe or cringy is defined as something that is considered embarrassing and something people find disgust towards. It is human nature to want to be accepted by friends, peers, family. The need to fit into society is psychologically ingrained in us. Based on Kohlberg's levels of moral reasoning, conventional reasoning is reached in stage 2. We make decisions based off getting praised and fitting in with the society around us. With this knowledge, it makes perfect sense that we avoid being cringy to ourselves at all costs. It is because of this that in-group cringe exists as well. In-group cringe is a special type of torture. The action of being harsher on someone else, someone who shares the same similar attributes. When we see ourselves in someone else that is being cringy, it evokes an incredibly greater reaction, and we are much more likely to show this reaction to the person as well. Being harsher on someone else, someone who has similar attributes. Recognizing the existence of in-group cringe is incredibly vital. There is a reason behind the strong emotion of seeing someone else be so-called cringy, someone else singing a so-called cringy song, or someone else making an embarrassing dance move. As a debater, I am much harsher on fellow debaters when I see something that is less than socially acceptable. When there's a discussion about someone who incessantly dabs, I become much more interested when I find out they're a debater. They move from being a stranger, something like a faceless stranger that I have no idea, to someone who shares a common interest with me. Now he is so-called giving me a bad name because of our shared common interest of debate. This is inherently seen when we are trying to look at cringe and what cringe is. Why we are so obsessed with looking at cringy movies, looking at fail videos and whatnot is, especially when we see ourselves in these people, it's impossible to look away. Because the idea of being obsessed with cringe and avoiding that cringe in the future. So now that the idea of cringy has a form and a definition, it is easy to see how it holds us back. According to the Swaddle, social rejection is similar to the pain of a physical injury. This fear of pain is what holds people back. There is nothing scarier than making a fool of yourself. Having felt cringe yourself, it is infinitely worse to put yourself out there. The knowledge of what exactly the consequence will be to a cringy moment is debilitating. Now, it is impossible to get up on that stage, to pitch that new idea, to give a speech for the first time. All to avoid the moment when people react to the cringe, when people flinch back, when people close their eyes, when they make the face. All to avoid getting that. So to what extent is cringe avoided? Some people get failing grades in a class to avoid a presentation. The 1 million what-ifs running through the student's mind. The instinctual desire to protect oneself from seizing the opportunities that are ripe for the picking. While the exact moment when the dreaded cringe arrives is horrible, those 30 seconds of perhaps incredible embarrassment, there are no real effects seen after the event. What's more important? 30 seconds of your life where you may feel embarrassment, or 10 years of a good career, graduating with a great GPA, or all these things that you have avoided because that's simply afraid of being laughed at, afraid of being cringed at, perhaps. So opportunities are squandered to simply avoid 30 seconds of agonizing embarrassment. And most people will forget that the cringy moment ever happened. It will not live on except for in your own mind. Opportunities are squandered. Our desire to avoid cringe seeps into how we talk, how we dress, how we act, how we eat, and so much more. Our desire to avoid cringe it seeps in everywhere. Some people do not feel comfortable being themselves in order to avoid the overwhelming feeling of being cringed at. These great lengths are being taken every day. We change ourselves every single day to fit more into society's standards, to wear what people wear, to put makeup on that people put makeup on and stuff like this. And it's you do everything you can to avoid this cringy moment and to be called cringy yourself. Third, overcoming the fear of failure of rejection, leaping past the blockade that is cringe, is simply being able to laugh at yourself. According to Stephen Hoffman, a psychologist that works with patients that experience anxiety, being able to laugh at yourself when making a mistake is crucial. Hoffman often tells his patients to put themselves in ridiculous situations, weird positions, like once telling his patient to sing Mary Had a Little Lamb to every passerby. Letting go of that fear and learning to laugh at little dumb mistakes along the way is so important because dumb mistakes will be made. There is no way to avoid this. Let go of that fear. Learn to laugh at little dumb mistakes. It is important to note that the ability to simply laugh is not a fix. There is no way to completely rid the world of embarrassment. However, it is laughter that makes it bearable. It is laughter that allows the experience to be one of learning. And it is not an easy thing to learn. Being able to laugh at yourself in a cringy situation is not easy. It takes work and it takes practice. There is no way to avoid running headlong into cringy moments. So if there is no way to completely prevent them, turn it into an advantage. There is no better growth than learning from a mistake. Children learn how to walk by falling over and over again. There is no self-awareness of fear here. It is because of that such progress is made by the child. Leaps and bounds are being taken to reach the full potential. The importance of pushing past the cringe and is the growth found within these situations. There's nothing fulfilling about sitting stagnant and doing nothing. Cringing and being cringed at are two sides to the same coin. Recondition your own responses when you see someone else do something awkward. Let's celebrate the leaps and bounds others are making rather than tearing people down. Let's celebrate the leaps, and let's celebrate these leaps and bounds. The negative reaction to cringy moments has been the root of the problem. Turn the reaction into something positive. You hold all the power for yourself. Don't let your reactions be something that you wouldn't want to see. If we can get rid of these harsh reactions and this negative stigma around doing something cringy, doing something embarrassing, the fear will slowly dissipate. So basically, to sum it up, here, if you're the one doing something cringy, laugh at yourself. Be able to admit that, yeah, that was a mistake, that was an embarrassment, but I've learned something from that and I'm ready to move on. And 2, if you see something cringy, accept that for what it is, a mistake in a road upwards to somewhere else, a road to success. It is not something that is bad. It's not something that should be avoided. It's not something that people should be so scared of. Cringe is a normal part of life. Being cringy, seeing something cringy is a normal part of life. Something that just needs to be accepted. The next time you get the urge to sing a song at the top of your lungs, don't hold back. These are the experiences that make up who we are, little by little. The idea of cringe is instinctual, engraved since childhood. The way it affects us day to day is no small matter. And finally, while pushing past the cringiness is important, after all, a little bit of cringe never really hurt anyone. Thank you.